Welcome to the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast, the place where we talk about getting businesses seen, remembered and chosen. I'm Joanne Pearce, a visibility specialist and friendly northerner, wife, mum and someone who's built 2 businesses from the ground up on nothing more than a wing and a prayer and sheer determination. I help independent businesses from around the world get found using honest, down-to-earth marketing grounded in real-life business experience. I believe that every business owner has a story to tell, and that story deserves to be at the very heart of their marketing. This podcast is for businesses of all kinds, whether you sell products or services, work locally or globally, are big or small, and you want to be found without relying solely on social media. Expect real stories, honest conversations, a good dose of northern humour, and simple visibility advice that will actually move the needle for your business. Let's go. Hello and welcome back to the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast. I hope you all had a good Christmas and are feeling excited for 2026 and all the possibilities that lie ahead for your business. Because I am. I've changed a few things around here which you may or may not have seen on my socials, but basically I'm letting the new year take me in a new direction with my business. One that feels much more aligned to what I enjoy, what I know I'm good at. And most importantly, what is going to help people I work with the most. And that is helping businesses get found, get noticed, and more importantly, get chosen. Because it's like a gladiator's arena out there, isn't it? Everyone is for themselves, and you've got to be willing to fight to the death to survive, which luckily I am. And I know you are too, which is why you are listening to me. So we're kicking off the new year with a podcast episode, which is going to be really helpful. And hopefully it's the kind of stuff that you want to be hearing if you're ready to grow your business. And today we're focusing on why businesses struggle to get seen locally online. So when someone types in Google exactly what it is that you do and all the results come up, well then you'll know where to be found. It's annoying, isn't it? Well, I thought we would address this and I'd give you some help on how you can fix it because it's really important and it's satisfying when you see yourself pop up because now they've got this AI generated result at the top and it's just really funny when it pops up and it recommends you. It says something like, for help getting your business seen, you should try Joanne Pearce from Her Handmade Hustle, located in Derbyshire. It's great, isn't it? But you might not be seeing anything like this. You might not even be on page 10 of Google, which is why you are struggling getting traffic to your website. Because here's what I see with business owners all the time. You've got a website, but Google doesn't really understand it. Your services aren't described clearly enough. You're not using the words that your customers are searching for. Your Google business profile is half finished, or it's forgotten about, or you don't even know what a Google business profile is. Maybe you're relying heavily on social media when you should actually be splitting your time and putting some of it into Google, as this is where the intentional searches from potential customers actually begin. Yeah, does that sound familiar? So you're not doing anything wrong. You've just never been shown how visibility actually works. So I thought it'd be really good to give you some pointers today to help you get found in your local area for whatever business you have. And I'm saying whatever business because if you did see my socials lately, you'll see that I'm now working with all kinds of businesses because I've realised something over the past year. Well, I've realised a few things, actually. Mainly, that most of our Instagrammable selves are sailing gracefully around the lake like a beautiful swan, but underneath the water, we're there furiously paddling away trying to stay afloat. You might have just taken an Insta-perfect shot of your workspace with its coordinated stationery and its neatly organised shelves, but if you move the camera 2 feet to the left, you'll probably find a pair of unwashed socks on the floor, a sticky trail of slime that your kid has left down the wall next to your desk, and some random pile of shit on the floor that you've been meaning to put up in the loft for about 6 months and just could never be asked. So now it's taken up permanent residence in your office. Yeah, we don't show that bit though, do we? But I've realised that we really have to truly think about our businesses, what we want from them and how we want them to work in a way that's going to make a difference to us. Now, whether that's on a personal level, so maybe you need more time for yourself or your family commitments or your own mental health. Maybe it's a financial level. Maybe you need more income from it to make it sustainable and one that allows you to have those little luxuries in life that you're inspiring to. Or maybe on a professional level, your business just doesn't quite sit naturally with you and it feels too hard all the time. Like the stressful days are outweighing the joyful ones. And that was me. Like last year, it was a good year for Her Handmade Hustle. Yeah, in that I started working with new people. I helped lots of businesses. I got my confidence up. I got results in, and I got some solid proof that I do actually know what I'm talking about. And I am making a difference to people's businesses and ultimately their lives. And it also made me realize that I'm good at what I do. But it also made me realize that I'm seriously bad at a few things. And I'll be honest with you, right? I'll tell you what they are. The first one is that I'm always saying yes. Oh, yes, I'm free. Yes, I can do that for you. Yes, leave it with me. No problem at all. You know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you just can't do it and you shouldn't do it. So I'm learning to be more select about what work I take on. Secondly, pricing. Shit at it. Always have been. Always underpriced and over delivered. One of my close friends who I've known since I was 16, she came up to visit over Christmas. She's called Maddie. Hi, Maddie, if you're listening. Anyway, we meet up a couple of times a year, which is always brilliant. Every time I see her, it feels like I'm transported back to those simple days when all we had to worry about is what we were buying from River Island that Saturday or, which bar we were going to hit that night with whatever boyfriend we had at the time. It was bliss. Now we've got mortgages and kids. She's got bloody twins. Hats off to her. We've got our own businesses, grey hairs, and all that stuff that comes with being a grown up. Yeah, it's pretty crap some days, isn't it? But anyway, she was helping me with some work stuff and she's looking over my new streamlined services. And, Maddie is one of these women, she doesn't beat around the bush, never has, says what she thinks, is very to the point. And she says to me, Joanne, this is really good. Loving the new angle. Yeah, totally on board with what you're offering. I think it's gold to people. One massive problem though. What's going on with your prices? They are far too cheap. It's ridiculous for what you're offering. And she was right. They were, and they always have been. And I can't do it anymore. And I don't want to do it anymore. I want to put a real value on what I offer because I know I'm good at it. And I know how much time it all takes. And quite frankly, I'm sick of feeling guilty about it. So I got a good talking to by Maddie and I got that confidence that I needed to price my work and my time realistically so that I can build a sustainable business in 2026 that is going to move forwards. And thirdly, third thing that I've discovered that I am seriously bad at, I've had the blinkers on a bit. Okay, a lot. So I've been putting limits on myself that didn't need to be there and they've held my business back. So when I started Her Handmade Hustle, I set out to help women with creative businesses, not because they are the only people I want to work with, but more because they are what I know. They are me, effectively. I have been where they are, and I wanted to help them get to where I did with my handmade business, Vintage Tree. It became an established business. I was making a full-time wage from it, and that was great because it was safe and comfortable. And I will always work with my ladies because, they are my people. But the skills I have, they aren't just limited to female creatives and they can be applied to any business. Builders, shops, restaurants, the butchers, the bakers and the candlestick makers. The things I know how to do will help any industry. As long as you have a business and you want to get it out there, then that's actually all I need to be able to help you. Maddie also said that I have to stop using the word small. Something, I'll be honest, did make me uncomfortable because I like small things, right? I actually really do. Like miniature things, little jam pots, mini scones. Don't know why I'm just talking about food. It can be anything really. Little figures, just small stuff. And I naturally just started to use that word in my branding. Small businesses. But actually, why? Why am I putting the ceiling on myself? What about medium-sized businesses? because I can help them too. And I realised that I was using the wrong word. And what I should actually be saying is independent. You can be an independent business and be small, medium, or large. I guess what I'm trying to say is that I will always be a cheerleader for the people out there doing it on their own, which is why I want to help these kinds of businesses. But they don't need to be small, because there is so much that I have learned since running and growing my own brands that can help people get their business seen. And this is what I actually specialise in. So maybe the new year is here now, and you're also rethinking what it is that you want to do or what you're good at. And this is going to then shape the direction of your business in 2026. So we're kicking the new year off with some really helpful, useful stuff which supports my new direction of sharing knowledge of what I'm good at. And that's getting businesses found, noticed, and most importantly, chosen. And it's the things that are really going to move the needle for your business and that matter. Stuff that is going to bring you the results you want, whether it's more visibility, more inquiries, more sales. There's real tangible things that are going to move your business forward. Okay, so today we're talking about the importance of finding intentional customers. You know, the ones who are actively searching for what it is that you do. Not the chancers who are just scrolling social media and sticking an occasional love art on your post that you spend hours and hours and hours creating, only to get no return on your time investment. Well, that's because the chances of them needing you and what you're offering at that point in their lives is very slim. Come on the socials to have a nosy about what annoying things people are doing and posting in their local Facebook group. As is always traffic, weather, and dog poo. That's a regular one in the gossip Facebook group. Or maybe they've just got 10 minutes to spare before they pick the kids up or they go to sleep and they're just bored and they're passing the time. And if you're a plumber who is posting in your local Facebook group advertising your services, hoping for some business, yes, people might see the post, save it, screenshot it for later should they ever need a plumber, which is always good, obviously. But at that point in time, they don't actually need one. So they aren't that bothered about your post, despite the fact that you've spent the best part of the day trying to make a post about shit, sound interesting, which is literally what you're trying to do if you're a plumber. However, what's one of the things you do when you actually need a plumber? I'll tell you what the first thing I do is. And I'm speaking from experience here because our toilet got blocked over Christmas. Eden mistook the baby wipes on the side of the bath for the flushable toilet wipes that I've been buying to try and encourage her to wipe her own arse. You know, it's not working, by the way. Kids just want you to do everything for them for life, it seems. But anyway, she was basically using the baby wipes every time she went to the toilet instead of the flushable ones. Yeah, and totally blocked it. And so then I go up to use the toilet, open the lid, and there was literally shit soup up to the top of the rim, right? It was disgusting. So, yeah, the first thing I did was swear, okay? Then I accused everyone in the house of being careless and annoying and generally wasteful because at this point I didn't know who had blocked it. But I assumed it was either down to overuse, Dave, or that too much of my expensive who gives a crap toilet paper had been jammed down there. Eden. Turns out it was neither of these, surprisingly. But after I'd done those two things, do you know what the next thing I did was? I went on Google. I Googled plumber near me. I needed a plumber and I went to the place that would help me find one quickly. Now, luckily for us, my dad was around that day and he spied the empty packet of baby wipes and the full packet of flushable wipes and quite rightly identified the cause of the problem. So while Dave and Dad sat downstairs enjoying a mince pie and a Bailey's latte for their lunch, I located a long stick, rolled my sleeves up, and was served a very large portion of shit soup for my dinner. Anyway, I got the wipes out, and luckily I didn't need the plumber. But my point is this. My first port of call was Google. And that's the difference. I was being intentional. I needed to find this service at this point because my toilet was blocked. I wasn't going to doom scroll for half an hour on Instagram. The chances of a plumber's post popping right up at that time was slim. And it's this intentional behaviour of our customers that we need to be thinking about when it comes to getting our business seen and chosen. And this brings me to why I think we need to be turning our attention more to Google and putting equal effort into this alongside our social media. Because if you're not coming up on page 1, 2, or 3 for whatever it is that you're offering, the chances are you ain't going to get the business. And this is crucial. It's basic business stuff, really, isn't it? And you know what people are searching for the most when they put things in Google that they're looking for? The term near me, or the town that they live in. So, plumber near me, for example. Soft play centre near Glossop. Best curry restaurant in Stockport. Accountant near me. Try it. If you start typing something in, Google will throw up some suggestions based on what other people are searching for in the box below, and you'll see the words near me somewhere. I guarantee it. So if where you're based doesn't feature heavily on your website, on your online presence, you aren't ever going to be suggested to these intentional people who are looking for exactly what it is that you do. And it doesn't matter if you are just online, and you can serve the world with your product or services just via a website. It doesn't matter. It's about helping Google understand who you are, what you do, who you help, and where you do it. It doesn't just know. It needs these clear signals. It's like your 90-year-old grandma who might be a bit deaf, You've got to be crystal clear in what you're saying to her, and you often have to keep repeating things until they know what you're on about, don't you? And one of the most common mistakes that I see when I look at a person's website, and this includes mine when I first started, I'm no different, is that they are beautiful, but they actually say nothing. There isn't even enough proper content for Google to figure out those questions of who they are, what they do, who they help, and where they're based. No locations mentioned, or maybe just once on the homepage. Hello, I'm Debbie and I'm a dog trainer based in Manchester. I'm qualified and experienced in helping owners with dog behavioural issues, something like that, yeah? Debbie's like a super nanny, but for dogs, right? She's got some lovely photos of some well-behaved dogs on there, a nice smiling one of her holding a cute puppy, you get it. Brownie points to Debbie because she does say that she's based in Manchester. I mean, I've made this person up, by the way, before you try and Google her. Debbie's dog care. But nowhere in that introduction, the key part of what not only grabs someone's attention, but also does that heavy lifting when it comes to the Google ranking, nowhere does it clearly explain her services, who she helps, and the areas that she works in. Because, Manchester's a big area, and it'll be harder to rank for this than it will be in the surrounding local towns where people will be searching specifically for dog training services. The business in this case is only ranking for its name. So people who are directly typing in, Debbie's dog training or whatever, it's a bit of a shit business name for poor imaginary Debbie, but you know what I mean. Which is not great because not everybody looking for a dog trainer will know that Debbie exists in the first place. So what she actually wants to be ranking for is the phrase dog trainers in Stockport or dog trainers in Marple, if that's where she's based. And these are all like sub-towns within Manchester. For people that don't live locally, obviously. I know I have a lot of listeners in the US, so yes, these are towns that are within Manchester area. So a better opening paragraph for Debbie on her homepage would be something like, hello, I'm Debbie, and I'm a dog trainer based in Marple, helping dog owners across Greater Manchester and Stockport with dog behavioural issues. So the location words are in there. Then she just needs to be clearer on what issues she helps with, because the dog behaviour itself is what people are going to be searching for. How do I stop my dog from jumping up, for example? As well as why she is a good choice, again, based on what people are going to be typing in. Qualified, experienced dog trainer near me, all things like this. You want to be making sure that you are coming up on Google when people type in what they are looking for, where you are based. And that is basically local SEO, search engine optimization. It's just about getting found locally. Now, this is a huge area to cover, so I'm only sticking to the basics today, so you don't finish listening to this and think, oh, it's too complicated, my head's about to explode. I'm not doing that, which is also fine. Lucky for you, it's what I do, so you can just ask me. But instead, I'm just telling you some small things that you can do to improve your visibility in the area that you are based. The other thing is, do you have a Google business profile? It's totally free and it is as important as having a social media account these days. It tells Google that you are a real business. that you are who you say you are, where you're based, what you offer, and is also where you can collect reviews for your credibility, which, in my honest opinion, is much better than Facebook reviews because at the end of the day, Google is a trusted source, and the more reviews you have on there, the more you feed it and the more it will trust you and bump you up there in the search results. So if you haven't got a Google business profile, go and set one up, okay? It might require you to go outside and film a brief video of where you live. Honestly, I'm not lying, because it wants to verify your address. Now, I've seen people walk up and down the street trying to get this bloody verification sorted. My sister, she lives behind a giant hedge, right, that just lines the whole road that she lives on. And she was well stressed out trying to do it. Just couldn't get it done. But that's just a word of warning if you live somewhere remote. But you need to do it because it's crucial to you getting found and favoured on Google. And within your Google business profile, you can create little posts. They're a bit like mini blogs, which you can use to talk about your services, what you offer, any valuable and useful information, events, offers, anything. This all contributes to your visibility online. And it's something that we should be prioritising as business owners if we want to get found. I know it's not as sexy as social media, yeah? It's like your Instagram account is there to attract people. It's the first place they head to when they, see that if you're online. It draws them in. It's there to flirt with them a little, to tempt them with these lovely pictures and videos and reels that you put on there, which is also very important because we know that we need that physical attraction, don't we, to investigate further. But on its own, it's not always enough to convince them to go on that date with you. People need that extra reassurance, the information, the validation, and that will come from establishing your authority on trusted platforms such as Google. So they'll arrive on your socials by chance, and then maybe they go and check you out on Google. Do you come up when they look for businesses that do what you do? Do you have any reviews? Is your website clear and your services visible? So what I'm saying is, don't stress for 2 hours making the perfect reel. Instead, use those 2 hours wisely and spend 30 minutes making your reel, and then the other hour and a half putting your energies into optimizing your presence on Google. So I'm making a conscious effort this year to log into my Google business profile once a week and create a short post, with all the words in there that people are already searching for on Google, to really try and drive some traffic to my site. Another important thing that you can do to help your business get seen on Google is to write some helpful content. And don't say you haven't got time, right? Because if you've got half an hour to scroll socials, you have time, trust me. My sister showed me how to do this thing the other day on my Samsung phone. It's called a digital health check or digital well-being or something. And you can see how long you are spending on your phone each week, right? I know. And it breaks it down for you in categories like social media, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever, right? So I did it. It wasn't too bad, I guess, okay, considering that I use my phone mainly for work. So mine was something like 3 hours and 30 minutes. So if you break it down, that's about 30 minutes a day across 7 days in the week. Not too bad, like I said, considering that I use it for work. And most of that time was spent on Instagram or socials. And then the next chunk was on YouTube, because I always give Eden my phone in the car to watch K-pop Demon Hunters on repeat, as it's the only thing that stops her chucking up. So you do what you've got to do, yeah. So that did skew my results a little bit. But I actually made my husband Dave do it because his phone is glued to his hand most days, right? He goes for a poo 4 times a day. I'm not kidding you. Just so he can go on his phone and browse. And he thinks I don't know what he's doing, but of course I do. Anyway, I was trying to prove a point to him that he spends way longer on his phone than I do. So I made him do this digital well-being check. Oh, and lo and behold, his came out at something like 5 hours a week. Okay, at a glance, not massively much more time than me, but he doesn't use his phone for work. And Eden doesn't watch anything on his phone. So that was all pretty much leisure time. Imagine what you could do with that time if you weren't on your phone. Anyway, go and do a digital health check, right? It's under settings on the Samsung. It's called digital well-being or something. I've just done one now while I've been talking for this week. I'm pretty impressed with the results, right? 50 minutes over 5 days. With most of my time, 24 minutes, being spent on my Slimming World app closely followed by WhatsApp, which was 11 minutes, it said, and then only 5 minutes on Instagram. And I'll tell you what that says to me about my week so far. I've had an indulgent Christmas, hence being on the Slimming World app so long. I've texted my friends quite a lot, and I've hardly done any work. 5 minutes on Instagram. I kind of like that stat though. But what I'm saying is, I bet you have more time than you think. You're just not allocating it right. So if you've got 30 minutes a day to scroll socials, then use it to write some helpful content instead that will actually help your business rather than putting more money in Mark Zuckerberg's pocket. The next thing is remember that Google loves useful content, okay? So if you've got a website and you've got a blog section on there, write some short blog posts that answer real questions, ones that your customers are searching for on there. And then that's going to do two things for you. First of all, it's going to help Google know about you and what it is you do. And second, it gives people a reason to trust you. So think about what you could write about that is related to what you offer. So my blog article that I've recently released is all about how to improve the SEO for businesses, that's search engine optimization, which is basically just a fancy term for getting yourself spruced up to be found by your dream date on Google. Right, that's how you need to look at it. I want to be finding my dream date by thinking about what are they asking Google for help with? For me, it's things like, how do I get my business noticed locally? How to improve SEO for businesses, that kind of stuff. Like maybe you're a nail artist or a wellness practitioner, and helpful blog content might be things like self-care ideas for busy people in the high peak. You're answering real questions your customers are already Googling, which is exactly what Google wants to see. Helpful content doesn't need to be complicated or long, it just needs to contain the right words and phrases. So on the whole, thinking about what questions your customers are typing into Google theme, you can help match these inquiries if you set up a frequently asked questions section on your website. It's really easy to do. They're brilliant for SEO because it lets you naturally include search phrases that people are typing into Google already. So questions like, how do I get my small business seen? What is business visibility? How can I improve SEO for my business? Yes, Google reads these. So think about the kinds of questions that people might have around your business and what you offer, and create a frequently asked questions section for your website. If you want an example to see how I've done it, go and head to my website and have a look at mine, and you'll see the kinds of questions that I've answered on there. And it's really important to remember that doing all these things will take time, yes. But will it be worth it in the long run? Of course, because you're building the foundations for a stronger online presence. Social media posts are great, yeah, and they will help build your brand for sure. But the visibility stuff is equally as important, and you need to be doing both. And that doesn't necessarily mean more work. All you need to do is half the effort that you put into your socials and just share that time equally between your Google stuff. And SEO and visibility does take time. And I know we live in this culture now where everything is instant. And if we don't see results within the first 24 hours, then we feel like a failure. But this is why people are feeling so disheartened about their businesses. The patience is gone. They aren't willing to wait for the good stuff to happen, and they're measuring their success in terms of the number of followers they have or likes they get on a post. And then if they don't get what they expected, they're turning around and they're going, it's a waste of time. My business is crap. I'm not meant to do this. What's the point? When instead, you should be thinking about investing their time, not wasting it. Build those bricks that are going to leave a lasting imprint online. The blog articles, the reviews, the stellar website content, and a really strong Google business profile. This is the stuff that doesn't disappear. It doesn't have an expiry date. So why aren't we doing more of it? And SEO does take time, right? It's not something you're just going to fix in one go, but it's something that you should set 1 hour aside each week to work on, because small steps done consistently is what is going to make the difference. Clearer wording, better keywords on your website, regular Google posts, helpful blogs. Plus, what I love most about it is it makes you feel so much more in control of your business. Like, you are doing stuff that matters. that counts, and it doesn't leave you feeling deflated or denting your ego. This behind the scenes stuff is where the magic happens. You will end up with better quality inquiries, you'll have less reliance on socials and visibility that's working quietly in the background for you, right? And you're going to feel so good when you start seeing yourself coming up on Google and the real inquiries start coming in. So if you haven't already seen it yet, go and read my new blog article. It's all about what I've talked about today. For some more help on how to get your business found locally, it's literally a 5-minute read, right? So instead of jumping on Facebook out of habit when you're waiting outside of the school gates today, or you're in the queue at the supermarket, read this. It's your first step to finding out about how you can get back in the driving seat of your business this year and really move it forward. So I will leave the link to that article in the show notes, or just head to my website, herhandmadehustle.co.uk/blog. And remember, if you would rather hand all this kind of stuff over to someone who actually enjoys it, then sadly this is what I love doing, But if you're serious about your business and getting seen this year, there is so much I can do to help, okay? Getting found on Google is just a piece of the visibility puzzle. And other stuff that I'm doing for businesses right now, it's helping them with email marketing, good old newsletters, which, did you know, are still the most powerful, reliable and high converting form of marketing that a business can use. Don't disregard them, right? Because they're a really important part of your business. And I'm going to be doing an episode on that in the coming weeks. I'm also doing press and PR outreach to get your business in the paper, in a magazine, on the radio, wherever you want to be to reach your people. I'm doing some design work too for clients. So if you need a flyer design to distribute locally and advertise your business, or maybe you want some branded social media templates sorted so you can just fill them out each week with the content that you're sharing, then you've got more time to work on the other side of your business. It's all possible. Just email me. And remember, being visible isn't about being louder. It's just about being clearer in the places that people are already looking. Now that's all for this week. I will be back in a couple of weeks' time with another episode of the Her Handmade Hustle Unplugged podcast. Until then, thank you as always for listening, and don't forget to share this episode with one other person who you think would enjoy it. See you next time. If today's episode has made you realise that visibility might be about more than just posting and hoping for the best, you are not alone. This is exactly the kind of thing I help independent businesses with, getting clearer on their story, their services, and how they actually show up online, especially on Google. If you want support that's honest, simple, and rooted in real-life business experience, I'm here. Visit my website, herhandmadehustle.co.uk, to see how we could work together. And if this episode helped you, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And don't forget to share it with someone else today who you think would enjoy it too. Thank you, and see you next time.